First, they quietly moved the president's top cabinet members into secure military bases. Then they started cutting the air traffic across the country. And now the Senate has just signaled that Venezuela might be a fair target. All of this doesn't usually happen all at once. Clearly, something big is coming, and I'm going to tell you all about it because the legacy media is not allowed to. Now, it started with a few odd reports. High-ranking officials suddenly packing up and relocating to military bases. And the official explanation? Security concerns.
Multiple senior officials in the Trump administration have relocated to military bases in the Washington, D.C. area amid reported concerns for their personal safety, according to The Atlantic. While it is not uncommon for some defense and national security officials to reside in military housing, experts say it is unusual for so many senior civilian leaders to do so at the same time.
Now, people like Stephen Miller had been harassed outside their homes, messages left on sidewalks, people coming to their homes. So, moving to a secure location makes sense for him.
Top Trump advisor Stephen Miller and his family recently moved into military housing after their neighbors in Arlington, Virginia protested their presence. The Millers have since listed their home for $3.75 million.
But here's the problem. It's not just one or two people. It's several key figures from the Trump administration, all moving around the same time.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is residing in a government-owned residence in Joint Base Anacostia Bolling. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are both living on Fort McNair's General's Row near Buzzard Point. Rubio reportedly lives there alone, while his family remains in Florida. Army Secretary Daniel P. Driscoll has also moved into military housing at Joint Base Meier-Henderson Hall, which he shares with Navy Secretary John Feeling.
You ever wonder how much they really know about you? Because this is what data brokers are selling right now. Your name, your address, your phone number, your salary, your family members. Every click, every search, every move you make. And they sell it like trading cards to whoever wants it. Scammers, spammers, stalkers. When I first saw this, I felt sick. You didn't consent to this. I didn't consent to this. But they're making billions selling us. Try this yourself. Google your name and the word data broker. You'll see page after page of sites literally selling your life. And the craziest part? It's legal. So what are you supposed to do? Go off the grid? Smash your phone? Stop using the internet? No. That's where today's sponsor comes in. This video is sponsored by Aura. Aura helps you fight back. They go after these data brokers directly, find the sites selling your info, and automatically remove it and keep it off. They do the hard part for you. Other services might promise the same thing, but none come close to what Aura gives you in one place. Real-time fraud alerts for your credit and bank accounts, dark web monitoring, built-in VPN and antivirus, password manager, 24/7 US-based support, and up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura's not just another app, it's peace of mind. Because in 2025, your data is your identity. If you're not protecting it, someone else is profiting from it. Don't leave yourself wide open. Try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/hustle. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal info off these data broker sites without you lifting a finger. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either. The media claims that after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the threats intensified, forcing these relocations. But as those moves were happening, something else caught my attention. Suddenly, the Secretary of Transportation steps up to the podium and announces massive flight reductions.
One of them, though, is going to be that there is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. The administrator is going to tell you that this is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
He blamed it on a shortage of air traffic controllers, another side effect of the never-ending government shutdown.
Our air traffic controllers and a lot of those who work at DOT, but throughout government, they haven't received paychecks. And what we're finding is that our air traffic controllers, because of the financial pressures at home, are taking side jobs. They need to put food on the table, gas in the car, pay their bills. And so because of that, we have seen staffing pressures throughout our airspace. Those who travel will see that we've had more delays. We've had more cancellations. We do not want to see disruptions at the FAA or here at DOT.
According to reports, nearly 20% of flights could be grounded if the shutdown continues. Now think about that timing. Officials disappear into secure facilities. Flights are canceled across the country, and all of it gets brushed off as routine. Meanwhile, Americans are sitting inside airports being told their flights no longer exist, that they'll have to drive thousands of miles if they want to travel at all.
In the middle of the night, Air Canada just canceled my trip. They rebooked me, but I woke up to get to Newark, New Jersey, and I'm in an Uber. As soon as I step into the Uber, I pull up the new itinerary. You're not anticipating to be rebooked all the way at JFK. An hour earlier than the flight I was on here.
So what are you going to do?
I'm renting a car. I have to be back in Utah by Tuesday, and from what I hear with the counters, the airline counters, and TSA, they literally said to me, if I were you, I wouldn't travel over the next 3 days.
Right now, our approach is a day by day. The day before, we will cancel a flight as long as the government requires us to. Right now, the FAA is asking every airline a 10% reduction in flights to the top 40 markets in the United States. For Delta on a weekday, for all my stat fans, that's roughly 540 flights a day if we have to. It is entirely up to the FAA at this point of when and how many flights they will tell us to cancel. But right now, they're shooting for a 10% reduction in operations on a daily basis. That starts effective tomorrow morning. Right now, I can tell you the priority is all international flights. International flights will leave on time and as scheduled. Delta is not messing with those. Those are the priority. The next flights that Delta will focus on not having to cancel are any flights that go through a major Delta hub. So any flight going through Atlanta, New York, Detroit, Minnie, Seattle, Salt Lake, LA, those flights are also a priority. Anything else, such as a Delta Connection flight, a flight that does not go through a major hub, all those are fair game to be canceled. Delta will announce a cancellation and let you know the day before, if at all possible. It will offer you rebooking options in the Fly Delta app, or it will offer you a full refund, as is mandated by the government in this case, if you so choose, for any portion of your itinerary that's canceled. If you do opt for a refund, it will process it for you right there immediately in the Fly Delta app. Certainly, this is all a big inconvenience. We're doing the best we can. We don't have any control over it. Here at Delta, we're kind of rolling with what the government tells us we can and can't do right now until Congress comes back to Washington and votes to reopen and fund the government. Appreciate everybody's understanding and patience with that, and we thank you as always for choosing Delta Airlines.
And these flight cancellations happen right after a major aircraft incident where an engine literally tore off during takeoff.
This morning, stunning new footage appears to show the engine missing on the UPS cargo plane just as it crashes in Louisville, Kentucky. The plane is coming down, and you see the left engine is already gone. NTSB investigators say it detached during takeoff.
People have every reason to be skeptical of the timing of these things because this doesn't feel like bad luck. It feels like preparation. And that's when the third piece of the puzzle fell into place. Just as the nation's attention is focused on the shutdown and the travel chaos, the Senate quietly votes against limiting President Trump's ability to launch strikes on Venezuela.
The one thing we can't do, in my opinion, is to substitute our judgment for that of the commander-in-chief about a military operation. Because if that's the case, then you don't have a single commander-in-chief, you have 535 commander-in-chiefs.
I know that no one really talked about it, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know that the U.S. forces have been building up in Puerto Rico for months.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, Marines have been the tip of the spear of our armed forces and the vanguard of the fight for freedom, just as they are right now in the Caribbean. Let's hope the wrong people don't FAFO around there.
They are even reopening a naval base only 500 miles from Venezuela's northern coast. And you're telling me that's just a coincidence? I don't think so. It's a pattern, one that points to something bigger that's right around the corner. And unfortunately, it seems like most people are not even allowed to talk about it. Pretty similar to how we suddenly aren't allowed to talk about some of the strangest details surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination. But here's where it gets interesting. You see, some people think that this strange silence might actually break soon, because Erica made a very unexpected claim yesterday.
He knew that evil wins when good people stay silent. And so for the rest of my life, I will make sure that I don't stay silent. I'll keep speaking the truth, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. And I pray that all of you do too.
She also made some strange remarks in her interview with Jesse Waters that even surprised Candace Owens.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected. I trust our team.
So it's not a straight yes or no, and the implication could be that she trusts the team to find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true answers are. And I think that's why this is going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone?
Well, if she has seen the autopsy, surely she knows the 30-06 rifle story is pure BS, and I just don't understand why she's not calling out the FBI on it. Now, there's one more thing I need to talk about, and it has to do with the SNAP benefits situation. A federal judge recently ordered the administration to fully restore those payments, but the government's response was simple. There's no money left. They've said that SNAP will only be funded once the shutdown ends.
Look, Jackie, it's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown, which what we'd like to do is for the Democrats to open up the government. Of course, then we can fund SNAP, and we can also do a lot of other good things for the American people. But in the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation. We're trying to keep as much turned on. We're trying to keep as much going as possible. The president and the entire administration are working on that, but we're not going to do it under the orders of a federal judge. We're going to do it according to what we think we have to do to comply with the law, of course, but also to actually make the government work for people in the midst of the Democrat government shutdown.
At the same time, the president has voiced his frustration over how many people are still receiving benefits that they might not even qualify for.
And you know, one other thing, our country has to remain very liquid because problems, catastrophes, wars, could be anything. We have to remain liquid. We can't give everything away based on a number. It was meant for people that had real problems, in many cases people that were down and out, people that could be saved. It wasn't meant for people that could do whatever they want, the people that say, well, I don't think I'll work, I'll just, collect this money.
And before we wrap this up, there's something else worth mentioning, something that's not getting a lot of people's attention. You see, Elon Musk just made some new comments this week, and they're unsettling to say the least.
But if you said down the road, would you be able to, say, with the Neuralink, have a snapshot of, or at least an approximate snapshot of somebody's mind, and then upload that approximate snapshot to an Optimus body? I think that at some point that technology becomes possible, and it's probably less than 20 years. Yeah. But of course, you won't quite be the same, be a little different. Well, I mean, I think actually long term, the AI is going to be in charge, to be totally frank, not humans. If artificial intelligence vastly exceeds the sum of human intelligence, it is difficult to imagine that any humans will actually be in charge. So we just need to make sure the AI is friendly. Yep.
He is now joining the list of billionaires talking openly about transhumanism. It's the same conversation we've already seen from Peter Thiel and others.
Yeah, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross-dresses. Is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body.
And if this keeps spreading, it might only be a matter of time before these same voices start talking about something even darker, maybe even invoking the idea of the Antichrist itself.